system that's behind Beryl. Lots of focus on Beryl, as there should be, but your eyes might go straight to Invest 96L as well. You can see tropical depression Chris there impacting the eastern portions of Mexico, and of course Hurricane Beryl, as we've talked about. Tropical depression Chris with the winds at 35 miles an hour, moving west at 12 miles per hour now. It made landfall overnight, and it brought very, very heavy rain with it. It is starting to dissipate. It's going to continue weakening. That is the trend that we're expecting. That high future forecast radar shows you we're still going to have some rain moving through, filtering its way up into those mountainous regions, but overall it's going to be on the downward trend, still dropping maybe a few inches of rain, which comes into play when we've already seen quite a bit of rain across portions of eastern Mexico from Alberto, and then we're going to add more onto that, so that ground is already pretty wet. We've got Alberto, we've got Beryl, Chris. The next system that could get a name would be Debbie, and then of course Ernesto. We're off and running with hurricane season. So we've got to keep a look at Invest 96L. Now, we've actually just seen the possibilities of this developing kind of lowered a little bit, but that doesn't mean you want to let your guard down. You can see it here. You know, we've definitely seen messier Invest. To say that it's still an Invest, I would say this is actually not a bad looking Invest. And as this continues to move westward, it is going to be impacting moderately favorable conditions for the possibility of some development, maybe a tropical depression by the middle of next week. Right now, a medium chance of that. You'll notice that it's following right behind Beryl. Typically, when we're talking about this, we're talking about how those very strong hurricanes are going to kind of well up some of the cooler water that might impact these storms. But this water's been so warm for so long, so that's maybe not as playing as much of a role as it typically would. You can see our development region once again. Interest in the Lesser Antilles are going to have to pay close attention to this Invest. And as you notice, Alex, we are very, very far from being over with hurricane season. In fact, we're still far from the peak, and we've got some pretty impressive systems already.
Of TSA folks getting screened through the TSA.
Yeah, I'm like, where are you all going? Where are we all? But this should be a really big travel week. If you're, say, headed to Dallas, or you're in Dallas and you're prepping for your 4th of July week, maybe you're taking the week off for the holiday. It is going to be a hot one until we introduce some storms on Friday. Even 91 is still hot, but it's not the 102, 101 that you're getting, and that is in the shade. So when you've got 101 sunny conditions and some humidity around, it's going to feel even hotter. As Alex was mentioning, where we have some of those drier conditions as well, you want to keep that in mind. It could be unsafe to set off some of those fireworks if it's extraordinary dry. So just watch that. If you're traveling today, we've got that risk for severe storms across portions of the northern plains. We've got that risk for a few storms for places like Florida as well. So if you are doing any type of air travel, that could be impacted for major hubs like, say, Orlando. Of course, looking up toward MCI, where we have that chance for some storms as well today. Heading into tomorrow, we keep that risk for severe storms. We actually up it a little bit, and we keep it across some of portions of the same region, the Central Plains over into the Mississippi River Valley. That risk for an isolated tornado can't be ruled out for cities like Kansas City, but you'll notice Dallas, that's where we've got the heat going on. We've still got the heat across the Four Corners region. That risk for some delays on the airways as well as the roadways going to be where we have that severe storm action tomorrow, and once again along the Gulf Coast. Heading into Wednesday, maybe you're taking off Wednesday for 4th of July on Thursday. We've got some scattered storms across the plains up through the Ohio River Valley, and then once again keeping a close eye on the Gulf Coast region for some scattered storms. Your typical summertime pattern could be impacting you there across Florida on Wednesday. And then for 4th of July, widespread rain. Alex, we're going to have to watch that forecast closely for those people trying to plan their fireworks.
Watching Hurricane Beryl, hoping that it wouldn't impact my vacation next week, or this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you pay attention to, right? You got to kind of say, but I think for most people, go ahead and let the plans go, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, you gotta wait it out. But also, I would say, know where you're traveling. Maybe as a meteorologist, a trip to the Caribbean was not the best idea.
But you based on climatology and historical data,
I should have been fine.
You should have been fine. Yeah.
Just manage your risk and take out some
insurance. That's our parting note for that one.